I am honored to be speaking to you today. I want to share a quote I read the other day from an unknown author. One of the hardest decisions that you will ever face in life is choosing whether to walk away or try harder. As I read this, it strummed a chord in my heart. There has been so many times that decisions laid in front of me to either fight for what I believed in or drop the leadership baton and walk away. In 2002, I was severed from one of the Illinois' largest utility companies. I had worked in public and legislative affairs for 25 years. My job connected me to the community and to my passion of helping people. Losing my job was a huge change in my life. I was stunned and unclear what my next steps would be for my career. During my career working in the utility industry, change was always a common denominator to accept. I was 50 years old, losing my financial stability, my insurance, and my purpose in life. It was beyond devastating. This term downsizing, as deemed by the corporate office, had been going on for 5 years, but I never thought it would impact me. One thing I did realize in that change is that change and fear may actually be the stepping stone to a larger plan. God allows these storms in our life to make us stronger and more resilient. Everyone has two options: to become depressed or resolve not to give up. Life is all about challenges, but it also is about opportunities. In 2004, I enrolled in one of the first Benedictine MS MOB programs. As a prerequisite to my graduating, we were to write a paper about an organization or a corporation using one of our methodologies we learned during our course studies. I chose Land of Lincoln Goodwill to test the theory of appreciative inquiry. Even though appreciative inquiry was a discussion topic during our course studies, I couldn't believe that the theory would actually work in real life. Appreciative inquiry's methodology supports the idea that no matter how bad the culture and financial aspect of the organization is, that by focusing and rebuilding from the positives in lieu of only on the negatives, the theory states a business or organization has a better chance of being revived. As they say, timing is everything. Land of Lincoln Goodwill had been through a turbulent journey the previous 3 years. Their executive director at the time had been accused of fraud involving Medicare payments the agencies received. The executive director had been escorted out by the FBI, and the FBI had removed all of the agency's files for review. This activity only brought fear and unrest in the organization. The negative impact on the organization from this investigation, along with daily adverse media reports, caused donations to plummet, the sales to decline, and community trust was diminished. I decided to contact the Goodwill interim director and ask permission to come in and do a workshop with their 25 employees they had at the time. The purpose of my workshop was to do an exercise to see what, if any, positive things could be highlighted about the agency after such a drastic hit to the organization. Benedictine University allowed me to use one of the rooms on the campus for a day. I wanted to have the off-site meeting with the Goodwill team. One of my classmates in the MOB program and I began the day-long process of engaging team members to work through various team-building exercises. The purpose behind the workshop activities were to identify what positive attributes existed, if any, from the employee's view. The outcome of the workshop would help to substantiate if the organization had a chance to pull out of the quandary it was in. Personally, I believe there would be no foundation to rebuild this organization and its viability. However, after working with the team for a day, and their belief system behind their mission and the passion that radiated from the staff was far beyond reproach. To my surprise, the passion for the Goodwill mission instilled in these employees brought tears to my eyes. Yes, the past 3 years for the group had been difficult, but the mission ingrained in their spirit had not been broken. They were determined to not give up, but to keep pushing the mission forward. It was at that moment I knew where I wanted my career to be next, Land of Lincoln Goodwill. At the time the organization was taking applications for the new CEO, I applied. There were 35 applicants, and I was chosen to be the new CEO. When I walked into the job in 2006, there were 25 full-time employees and 125 temporary employees. The temps were costing the agency $2.5 million a year. There was no health benefits to the current employees, and paid time off was non-existent. The agency had no defined organizational chart. Drop boxes that collected donations were throughout the counties we serve, costing the agency thousands of dollars in trash costs annually. There were only 2 computers in the agency, and everything was done manually. The agency was locked into long-term leases at high rates, and there were only 6 retail stores. It was as though the agency was locked in a time warp. In processes, in technology, literally everything. The retail stores were dirty, and there was no culture with the value of understanding the strength of a team. The organization's revenue was $6 million. The organization had been managed with an authoritarian leadership model. Employees walked in fear that if the director walked in to where they were at and he decided he didn't like them, they were fired. They were afraid to make any decisions. It was micromanaging at a premium. I knew changes desperately needed to be made. I knew that I had to initiate the change, immediate change. I had to persuade team members to jump on board with the change, instill trust, which was non-existent not only among the employees, but also the board as well, and rebuild community trust. It was a huge challenge, but I knew it would take time to turn the organization around. Donation boxes were removed, saving the agency over $100,000 in the first year. I hired an HR director, and we began hiring new employees and eliminating all the temporary employees and providing full medical, dental, and vision insurance. Even with providing benefits, the positive return to the bottom line was $600,000. Times were tough. I experienced many sleepless nights because of the expense to revenue issues, and so many times it would have been much easier to quit than to continue the stress but I've made myself a promise to never give up. During those first few months, believe me, I thought about saying to the board, I'm not your candidate for this job. The issues at times seemed insurmountable. But fortunately, I have a stubborn spirit, and I just wouldn't give up. The passion for the mission was so strong, it permeated through my soul, and it is my character to push forward. There is something to say about people who have stubborn wills, and I'm one. Fast forward to today, our revenue has grown to over $16 million, an increase of 141.8%. We have over 350 full and part-time employees, which is an increase of 686%. We serve over 73 individuals in our vocational rehab program. We have 14 retail stores, 3 donation centers, a 100,000 square foot warehouse, a recycling and salvage business line, a fleet of semis and trailers, an e-commerce business, a coffee house named Edgar's after our founding director, Dr. Edgar Helms, 6 career centers, and a youth program called Good Guides that works with at-risk kids from ages 12 through 17. Since 2007, our agency has helped over 19,000 individuals with job assistant and job readiness training. Since the inception of the Goodwill program in 2009, 430 kids have been served, 85 kids have completed high school, 26 youth are now in college, and 162 mentors and volunteers participated in supporting the program. Our territory covers 33 counties in Illinois and 4 counties in Indiana. Land of Lincoln Goodwill pays 82% of single health coverage for the employee, paid sick time, vacation time, personal days, and holiday pay. We also contribute to the employee's 403 retirement plan. We now have remote timekeeping. Our janitorial staff who works off-site at the State of Illinois Rest Area on I-55 can clock in and clock out using their cell phone. All payroll is automated and communicates to our finance and HR computers. There are kiosks throughout the organization where employees can jump online to request time off or print out any payroll summary and keep in touch with the organization's news. We have grown from 82% self-funded to 90% self-funded. My personal goal is to get us to 100% self-funded by 2023 and increase retail stores to a minimum of 24 and to continue our services to many more counties in our territory. Land of Lincoln Goodwill Industries is a nonprofit serving a 37-county area since 1938. Our mission is all about putting people to work. Our core is helping people with a hand up, not a handout. The moral to my story is never give up. My advice to you as graduates and everyone in this room is always persevere. Regardless of how difficult the journey you are traveling in life right now, don't quit. If you do, you may never know where the path would have taken you or what the final outcome could have been. Trust in God during the tough times. Seek His wisdom, His direction, and His strength, and He will help you get to the finish line. I will be forever grateful to Benedictine University for taking the step of faith to offer the MS-MOB program. For myself, it opened the door to a career that not only I enjoy, but it meets my goal in life to help people. Benedictine's program helps professionals like myself to achieve the impossible. Thank you, faculty. You are truly a blessing, not only to me, but each graduate who is here today. On final note, good luck, graduates of 2015. My prayer is that you will always keep the attitude, to never give up when adversity comes your way. Challenges can be amazing opportunities. May God grant you prosperity, good health, and many blessings as you step into the next journey of your life. Thank you.